KJM and it's No Makeup Sunday, and I'm actually doing it from my couch today instead of like my dining room table. And as you can see, I still have like my Vegas tan going on. I'm like 7 different shades of melanin right now. Shout out to Harmony, and I definitely miss Vegas, so shout out to the city of Las Vegas. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about today, but I was talking to a really close friend and a topic came up that I thought was very important. And so that's what we're going to unpack on today's No Makeup Sunday. Women especially have a bit of an issue with this topic, and it's usually the ability to say no, the power of saying no, N-O. I came out the womb saying the word no, like to strangers, people I don't care about. I'm definitely not a people pleaser. But when it comes to people that I am really close to, like close friends, close family members, you know, even the X factor, like I have a very hard time saying no, which is funny because, you know, one of my favorite words is N-O, like that's what you're going to get from me. Kingston is always going to tell you no. So today we want to unpack the power of no and how, especially for us women, we can utilize it with, you know, with using it more and empowering ourselves. So here's the thing about the word no. For every yes you give people in life, the minute you start saying no to them, you instantly become like the bad person. So I'm just gonna let you know that right now. So when you used to bend over backwards for like your roommate or whatever, and you know, pay their portion of the bills that they couldn't come up with, or clean their room, or whatever the situation was, the minute you start to say no to them and set boundaries, people get very frustrated. People don't like when you set boundaries for yourself. I'm gonna tell you right now. A lot of what's behind not liking to say the word no is that, especially women, we could be people pleasers sometimes. Now, this is kind of crazy because Kingston ain't trying to please nobody but herself. But even me, sometimes with people I'm close to, I'll say yes to something I really don't want to be saying yes to. So today we're going to master the word no, N-O, ladies, and we are going to use it in an effective way. Why is it important to say no? So as I brought up, boundaries. You have to let people know that you cannot be depleting yourself and all your resources to continuously give them. And like I said, people are often ungrateful. The minute you are not relinquishing yourself to them, and you're not enslaving yourself to things that you need to do, that they need you to do for them, they get pretty peed off. They get pretty peed off. I'm actually trying to do this video without dropping one curse word. Let's see if I'm able to do so. So being a people pleaser, you know, and for a lot of women, we think even when you're little girls that it's a great way for people to like us and to find us agreeable. But you're going to find out that being agreeable, being likable, everybody liking you, it's going to open up a whole host of other, you know, issues. So for men, they're not really raised in general to have people like them. That's why, you know, little boys are so competitive in sports and like video games and everything that they do. The goal is not really to have people like them. The goal is for them to step into themselves, you know, be more sure of themselves. And I know I'm generalizing, but I'm just giving you a foundation from where I'm coming from. So, you know, with little girls, it's that you have to be nice, you have to be courteous, you have to be sweet, you have to be this. And as you become a grown woman, the list gets longer and longer and longer and longer. Like you have to work a long day and still give your husband sex. You have to work a long day and still feel like it's okay, you know, that you have to clean up all your kids' rooms because, you know, they didn't do the stuff that they were supposed to do. You have to work a long day and you have to check their homework. You have to work a long day and also do work at home for your coworker that's slacking on the job. The list just gets longer and longer and longer. And then we keep saying yes. We keep saying it's doable. Like, that's fine. I don't need sleep. Okay, Kingston been tired for this many years because I'm picking up slack for other people. You have to learn how to say no. And actually, you don't really do anyone any justice that if every time they ask you a question or they ask you for something that is unreasonable, and sometimes even if it's reasonable, you're gonna still have to say no. But you know, some people will be like, well, can you drive 100 miles and pick me up a special, a special carton of milk? You know what I mean? Can you come and, help me birth my baby? when you're not even a midwife and people will ask you like these crazy, crazy, crazy questions. And it's like, why would you do this? But you want to be there for your family, your friend, your coworker, your whatever. I remember one time I was at work and my boss had a task that was really his task to do, okay? And there were two people on my team that he really trusted, myself and another young lady. So now he has a really difficult task that's gonna take a couple of weeks and he is not really good with it. With the programming that's being used. I wasn't that good with that program either. So one of the other lady that's trusted, she served up herself and said, hey, she's gonna do this project for him. So I remember when he looked at me and he was like, well, don't you want to help? We'll call her Tracy. Don't you want to help Tracy? And I said, no. And he was like, I'm really surprised, because he thought I was just gonna roll up my sleeves and do his work and be okay with doing his work and then smiling about it like how Tracy was. And I'm like, no, that's not gonna be Kingston. That's above my pay grade and it's really his job she's doing. So there's some of us out there that even at work, we're doing our boss's jobs. You know what I'm saying? He's getting paid the big bucks. I'm in the poorhouse, but I'm supposed to be stressed out with his work and my work too. No, thank you. So Kingston had to say no to that. And I know some people, it's different, also in a work setting, you may think if you do that, you'll get promoted. I wasn't really caring about being promoted. What I was caring about is not being stressed out by taking on other people's work. So I set my boundaries. Tracy's happy to lose sleep and spend all night on his Excel worksheet. Kingston was not doing that. I got me a good night's sleep during that week. And of course I helped with things that my team was helping with because I'm a team player. But was I gonna take on my boss's work too that he's gonna end up taking credit for and he's getting paid the big bucks? Absolutely not. I had to draw the line. And this happens all the time in different situations. Family members, we all got the family members that always borrow money, but they never return money. It's like a one-way street. You never see your money again. They'll say like their children need braces, their children need a surgery, but yet it's been like 5 years and you've heard nothing about the surgery. It never happened. They're asking you for all kinds of crazy stuff. And here we are exerting ourselves and like literally saying yes to everything because we want to be liked. We want to let the world know that we're supporting our friends and family. Here's the thing. If you don't got you, nobody has you. That's what you have to remember. So the power of no, the art of the word no is you cannot deplete yourself and your resources to always be saving other people. Sometimes you're going to have to say no. And sometimes you're saying no just for the principle of saying no, that the request was so ridiculous, even though it's within your doing, you're just going to say no. And that's okay. What we also need to learn is that when you say the word no, you don't need to give an explanation. In the words of my friend Grace, no is a complete sentence. Meditate on that for a second. You heard me. No is a complete sentence. So I found myself even the other day giving some excuses to someone after I said the word no, when I should have just flat out said no. This is not within my doing. This is not something I want right now. No. So when you find yourself giving explanations behind that, people will try to poke holes in it. So when you say that you can't go and pick up their 5 kids from 5 different schools, plus pick up your kids from their schools, and then help everyone with their homework, and then drop everybody else off, and then come home and make your family dinner, and you're telling them, well, I've got to go to the grocery store. Well, your family member could be like, well, dang, can't you pick up my 5 kids after you leave aisle 8 and still get them where they need to go? It's just people are always going to find ridiculous ways to impose on your life. You have to set those boundaries. Now, I grew up in a house with one people pleaser. That would be my mom. And then my dad didn't believe in pleasing nobody. So I tend to lean on his side in general, that if that saying yes to something means that I'm going to sacrifice myself, my immediate family, my sleep, my health, my mental health, my physical health, just my whole mind, body, soul. If saying yes is going to do that to me, then you're going to get a no. Because once again, if I don't have me, who is going to have me? Now, here's another powerful thing that I heard too from someone that I spent years and years saying yes to something. When I finally said no to them, one of the things that the person pointed out was, all those years that you said yes, I never told you to say yes. You could have said no. So here is the thing. A lot of those people that are making crazy requests and they are going to get mad at you when you say no, they will be so quick to say no to you about shit. Ooh, is shit really a word is it really a curse on Sunday? I mean, poop, whatever. You get where I'm coming from. Still try not to curse. So those people will so quickly say no to you. They will have no problems with telling you that they cannot return the favor. They cannot pick up your son from an airport that's 500 miles away from them and drive him back. They just can't do it. That's your job. That's your son. You understand what I'm saying? So behind the people pleasing, what you're doing is you're losing yourself. And believe it or not, saying yes to people when it's to your detriment also does a disservice to yourself and to them. Boundaries create healthy relationships. Let's meditate on that one. Boundaries create healthy relationships. They need to have their boundaries. You need to have your boundaries. And we need to have a respect of boundaries. Yeah. It's going to be important. It's going to be important. Because within those boundaries, there's growth. There should be respect. There should be trust. There should be an understanding that if we do go above and beyond for each other, that should not be taken for granted. You understand what I'm saying? So when you yes and people all to death, the minute you give them a no, you are enemy number one. Okay, they are serving you up on a plate. It doesn't matter if you gave their mama a kidney last year. They still want to know what's up with your last kidney. Why you can't give somebody in their family that? Okay, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm trying to let you know how some of these requests, how ridiculous some of these requests are. So it doesn't matter. You ever heard the song, ooh, yeah. Dun, 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 dun. What have you done for me lately? Boom, boom, boom. I think that's Janet Jackson, right? Yeah. So people are always asking, what have you done for me lately? It doesn't matter if you gave them 100 yeses before a no came. They just want to know why you saying no now. And here's the thing, sister girlfriend. You don't need to explain your no. Once again, remember what Grace said, no is a complete sentence. And she is right grammatically. It is a complete sentence. A period will come after that bad boy. So don't put a comma and say, I'm saying no because then the person going to try to poke holes in that story. And once again, you're not setting boundaries. Your no should be good enough. When my father issues a no, there's no follow-up. No, can't do it. While my mom is going around, trying to figure out how she could please everybody, my daddy then said, nope, we can't do it. The Michaels family is closed. We cannot open up shop. We cannot house your children. We cannot pay your mortgage. We not doing none of that because we got to take care of our own over here. And that's not to say that you should be a selfish human being and sometimes you shouldn't extend yourself. But I'm going to tell you, there are certain, I love to call them cockroaches and sewer rats, usually when it comes to dating, but just people in general. But let's even go further and call them something else, something more special. Let's call them parasites. There are certain parasites out there that they just want to feed off of your energy. They are users. They just want to take from you. And sometimes people can consciously do this, and sometimes people can unconsciously do this. And you're saying, like, how do you do that? Some people's personalities are just to be needy. That's their natural personality, is to be needy and to deplete others around them. So you have to set your boundaries. You have to say no. Now, I was talking about the family aspect that I have a hard time saying no to, like, close family members. But even with close family members, you must set boundaries, especially when you have your own family. You must set boundaries. Like, my mom would have this thing where she'd always have like the same, like a family member or two, and they would borrow our mortgage right before our mortgage payments are due. And then they would say they were going to bring it back. Well, it's been 20 years later. We ain't never got none of that money back. You know what I mean? And then she got to go to my dad and say that she done gave away our mortgage money and our mortgage is still due. While these people did whatever they did with their money, they're fine, they're sleeping well, with no intentions of paying our family back, and this will go on for years. So you have to learn a lesson here. It is great to be a giver. It is great to be the type of person that can show up for people. But once again, if it's always to your detriment, you may want to rethink that. because you're stressing yourself out. You're losing sleep. You're hurting your own family, maybe even hurting your children by always trying to be there for somebody else. And it's just ridiculous. Sometimes people just got to take care of their own shit. So it's okay to look at somebody at work and say, okay, Sheila, you got to do your own, pull your own workload. I'm not taking home your work tonight, okay? Because I got a family and I got things going on. And even if you don't have a family and you're a single person like I am with no husband, no children, I just want to go home and, watch some TV. Or I just want to go get a massage or whatever. And I don't even need to explain all that to you. You are getting paid for the same job I am. I'm going to need you to do it. Boom. No, I can't take your work home load. And I don't really, your work home load at home. And I don't really care what's going on in your personal life, Sheila. That's a personal thing. You know what I mean? So keep it to yourself. And you see what I'm doing right there is I am setting boundaries. I can be the helpful coworker when you're bombarded with more than you should have been given, but I will not be sitting there and be doing your job because I'm not also collecting your check. You feel me? So once again, let's do a little recap about how important the power of no is. You don't want to be a people pleaser because you are doing no one any kind, you're doing everyone a disservice, and you're not doing anything great for anyone by always saying yes. The minute you say no, they're gonna hate you. Okay? If you're saying no to your detriment, you're hurting yourself and others around you. Okay? Because if you don't got you, nobody got you. Okay? Also, the people that you keep saying no to, they will turn around in a hot minute and say, I never told you to keep saying yes. If you felt no all those times, you should have said it. And in a way, there is some truth to that. Free yourself, sister. Free yourself, brother. Say no when you want to say no. Okay? Do not put yourself in an uncomfortable position just to make other people feel great. It's not going to work out. They're going to turn on you the minute you don't have anything to give them. Okay? And if for no other reason, why you should learn to say no more in your life is that creating boundaries also creates healthy relationships. We all should have boundaries. There should be no one on this earth that could just roll up on you and ask whatever they want of you, and there's no boundary to that. You know what I mean? You're a human being. Your body is your temple. You're responsible for your mind, body, and soul. So you have that right to say no at any moment that you feel like. No one is entitled to a yes for you. I don't even care if it's your kids. No one is entitled to a yes. So let's go out and exercise that word no more often, okay? And I know this seems like a big old ramble, but it was like I had an hour and a half conversation with my friend, and it was surrounded about, saying the word no and how important no is. So I want y'all to go out this week and exercise the word no. And then if you can, report back to me, like say no to people that you always say yes to. Even if you do have time to do their laundry and your laundry and then fold their stuff up and drop it by their house, just exercise the word no. Just exercise the word no and let me know what happens. Because I'm telling you, when people are used to yes, I would be thinking to myself, wow, that person always says yes to me and this time they weren't able to. I'm so grateful for the moments that they were able to help me out. But somehow people just don't get that. So set your boundaries, free yourself, say no. And sometimes say no, even if it could be a yes, because sometimes there's a principle behind it. You may be dealing with a parasite. And if you're dealing with a parasite and it's been constantly sucking your blood, don't allow it to come back for more blood. Your body needs its blood, okay? I don't know much about science, but I know that. It needs its blood. Yes, it does. It needs blood. So, KJM, it's No Makeup Sunday. Go out and exercise your nose and report back to me and let me know how that goes. I'm signing off. You guys have a blessed Sunday. I think I managed to not say a real curse word in this video, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm a habitual cursor, and I'm okay with that. But it is Sunday, so sometimes I gotta tune it down a little bit. All right, one love, and let me know how you feel about this video, and I'm out.